How old were you that first time you laid eyes on a guitar and it made you do a double take? You looked at it and all you could think was, man, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. What was that guitar? Was it a Strat? Was it a Les Paul? Was it pointy? Did it have really cool graphics on it? Well, for me, that one guitar, that first time, it was about, I don't know what year. I guess I was about 8 years old, and my brothers had put together their very first band. My brothers being roughly 5.5 years older than me. They put their first band together with a couple of classmates, and one of the guys in the band, guitar player, he pulls out this Fender. And it was the coolest thing I had ever seen. It was just so amazing. And all these years later, I've never been able to get that guitar out of my brain, though I never actually pursued buying one, because as I grew older and actually learned how to play guitar, it really wasn't suited to what I was playing. So still, the coolness factor of it remained in my head. And now, all these years later, I've got the hankering to own one. Unfortunately, those vintage guitars that were really student models back in the day, well, to get one of those old ones now, you'll pay thousands of dollars, especially if it's in decent shape. And although over the years Fender has reissued versions of this guitar, I think there's a Ventera version of it. There's been several reissues, but still out of my price range. I'm not going to spend the kind of money they want for this particular guitar just because I think it looks cool. However, I don't know how long this has been available. I have to admit to my ignorance here, but I just became aware that there's a Squier Classic Vibe version of this guitar, and as soon as I saw it, I couldn't get it out of my brain. It's like, that's it. I mean, it may say Squire on the headstock, but it looks like that guitar that all those years ago, when this grumpy old dude was just a sweet, innocent young child. And now it's available, and so I couldn't help it. I had to buy one. And I have to tell you, as I pulled it out of the box, I was literally giddy just to lay eyes and hold it in my hands. And I'm pretty happy about it. So what was that guitar? So this is it. This is a Squire FSR, which stands for Fender Special Run, Classic Vibe 60's Competition Mustang. Whew, what a mouthful. It's a lot, but it's a competition Mustang. And this is a very good replica, if you will, of that beautiful Fender guitar that I fell in love with when I was just a wee little tyke. I just love how it looks, and let's face it, it's that competition racing stripe going across it. That blew me away as a kid, and I still love how this thing looks. And yeah, I'm super happy. I was giddy when I pulled it out of the bag. It made me happy all over just looking at it. But to be very clear, I did. I bought this guitar 100% because of how it looks. I'm not sure that I necessarily like everything about this guitar. It does play well. I'll go over a few things. I didn't really mean this video to be a review or a demo or anything. It's just about nostalgia. This is the guitar that made me fall in love with guitars, really. And to this day, there's something about it. I had to have one, so I bought it. But let's go ahead. Let's talk a little bit about what this guitar actually is. You know, the specs and that stuff. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. We got a poplar body with a maple neck, a laurel fretboard. It's one of those pseudo rosewood sort of materials, which is anything's better than Palfero Fender. Yeah, it's everything I like in a guitar. A nice dark rosewoody fretboard, the maple neck. I always like well, not always. I mean, I like my mahogany necks on my Gibsons, but something about a Fender neck that I really like, and it's a C-shaped neck. We have, I think they're narrow, tall frets. They are certainly not jumbo frets. We have the traditional open or slot-headed safety tuners back here. They're not bad. What else? Okay, we gotta talk about this tremolo. This thing is weird. I haven't quite figured it out yet. I haven't been able to take this guitar apart yet. That's coming soon. I'm gonna restring it here pretty soon, and I'll just take the whole thing apart and check out all the innards of it. But yeah, let's see what else. 2 single coil pickups. I don't know a whole lot about the pickups for a Mustang. I can tell you they certainly are not high output pickups. They are supposed to be Alnico, but I do not know. If I had to guess, I would say Alnico 2, possibly 3, but there. Now this is where it gets really weird, because there's no toggle switch for the pickup selector. There's 2 of these little 3-position slider switches, and well, let's see, in this position all the way over to what would be your left but my right, the pickup is on. Put it in the middle, the pickup is off. Put it over the other way, all the way to my left, your right, it's an out of phase sort of issue. And you can have all the pickups off if you sound really crappy, or you can have both pickups on, slide them all this way. You can have one pickup out of phase while the other is not, and just any number of combinations. So it's kind of cool, except I'm sure it's not very convenient in a live situation if you're the kind of player that is constantly switching between your neck and your bridge pickup. That could be a little cumbersome. I personally would probably find this to be an issue if I were using this guitar in a live situation, which I'm never going to be doing, so it's okay. What else about it? You've got your 4-screw bolt-on neck, a Squire back plate back here. Nothing else. By the way, it's a Lake Placid blue finish with the Olympic white racing stripe. And of course, you got your walnut skunk stripe back here on the back of the neck. So that is, oh yeah, your volume and your tone. And I do have to say, I like the tone control so far. The tone control is very useful on this guitar. You'll find that the pickups themselves sound a little thin, definitely a little quacky, and the tone control definitely helps you dial in something that you really like. So there is one major issue with this guitar that I'm going to have to fix it. I'm going to have to get a new nut. There was definitely a problem. By the way, I'm not sure. It's certainly, it's definitely not a bone nut. It's some sort of a plastic nut in here. And on the G string, it was cut too wide. And I don't know, if you can hear that, that is not the string binding in the slide. It's sliding across the bottom. I spent a little bit of time trying to polish that out. It didn't go, it's just the nut, the slot is way too wide on the G string. I could either, use the super glue and baking powder, baking soda, baking powder trick, and fill that in and recut it. But I think I'm just gonna either order a new Graphtec nut, or who knows, maybe I'll get a piece of bone and make my own bone nut to go in here. Who knows? Either way, that's really the only issue with the guitar. The tremolo system, again, is very weird and not very conducive to maintaining your tuning. It's not the best tremolo in the world, but again, I don't know a whole lot about it. So I've still got a lot of learning to do about this guitar. That's pretty much all I can tell you about it so far, but let's go ahead and give it a listen. I'll go through each of the pickup settings and you can hear for yourself. All right, real quick, let's just go through each of the pickups just to get an idea of their tone. Right now, everything is off. Let's do the bridge first. It's in the middle position, sliding it towards the trim there, the tremolo, or the bridge. That turns the pickup on. Now if you put it over to the opposite side, that's out of phase. All right, let's do the neck pickup. And then out of phase. Let's do both pickups on. With the bridge position in the out of phase. Real quacky, real quacky. Let's do the neck position out of phase with the bridge position in phase. And then just the neck, the bridge, and both. So that's what the pickups sound like. You may like it, you may not. I'm not real sure how I feel about them, but you know, like I said, I bought the guitar because of how it looks. So there you have it. Yeah, sure, it may not say Fender on the headstock, but for all intents and purposes, this is the guitar that sparked a lifelong love affair with guitars for me. And I'm just tickled pink to have this guitar. It's got a problem or two. I'll fix those. And overall, I really love what Squire has been doing, what Fender has been doing with Squire. The quality overall on this guitar is great. And I think I forgot to mention earlier, it's got a 24-inch scale length, which is actually shorter than a Gibson by just a little bit, and it plays really easily. So I don't know if it'll be my favorite player, but I do enjoy playing it, and that's always a good thing. So how about you? What was that guitar that first caught your eye, that made you want to play guitar? Comment below, let me know what it was for you. I look forward to hearing that. And while you're at it, please make sure you're subscribed and throw me a like. How about that? Just throw me a thumbs up. That'll help the channel. I do appreciate that. And with that said, well, let's be good. Let's all just be good. Take care.